Hey, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Liberal Austin Democrats. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me tonight because I am vice president. My wife, Lynn, is unfortunately called to work out in San Angelo. So she's in beautiful San Angelo tonight. She sends her best regards. We appreciate everyone coming out tonight for our LAD forum. We apologize that it got moved from our normal location at Costage Apollo. So glad you're enduring the no margaritas this evening and just settling for pizza and sodas. But we really appreciate you coming out. We will be on Facebook Live. So if there's anyone that can't make it tonight, please be sure to text them and let them know that they can watch it either on Facebook Live or later that'll be posted. So we appreciate that very much. Before we get started with our main program, which we're very excited about to have 8 candidates in the race for House District 49, we're actually going to start with another presentation. And yes, I have it right here. So those of you that did come to our LAD fundraiser a few weeks ago that we do every year for Mobile Loaves and Fishes in Community First Village that Lynn does in our backyard. This was the 11th annual that LAD has done. When we first chose Mobile Loaves and Fishes, we really thought we would move on to maybe a different charity every year, but we got so inspired by the good work that they do, and especially at Community First Village, where they're really building a community out there that is growing so rapidly and is much needed. So we were very happy to do it. This year, we raised $5,500 for Mobile Loaves and Fishes, so we're very excited about that. And then we also raised another $5,000 that will go into candidate campaigns once we start endorsing people next year. So a lot of you in this room will be getting that support down the road. So we definitely appreciate that. To date, we've raised over $60,000 for Mobile Loaves and Fishes. So basically, we built a couple of tiny homes, I think, almost, maybe with inflation a little less than a whole tiny home. But we're definitely doing really good work out there and very grateful to support it. And I would encourage all of you to go out there if you haven't been. And you can volunteer. You can just check it out. But Shane is going to talk a little bit about that. And I would now like to welcome up Shane Blackshear, who is with Mobile Loaves and Fishes Community First Village, who, if you were at the fundraiser, you also got to hear from. He's going to tell you a little bit about the good work that they're doing out there.
Thank you, Jeremy. And thank you, Liberal Austin Democrats. This is so kind of you to raise this money for us. Trust us, this money is being put to good work and providing a true community for the formerly homeless in the Austin area. So a few things I would just love to tell you about. One is the big news at Mobile Loaves and Fishes is that we just opened our 50-acre expansion. So we've about doubled what our original village was. This will enable us to house about 500 more formerly homeless folks. We are extremely excited about that. We are still building that out, and we will for years to come, but it is open. We will start moving our first neighbors in there within a matter of months. And we could not be more excited about what's going on out there. In our capital campaign, that's costing us about $225 million. We have raised about $170 million of that. So we say we move at the pace of a relationship. And so that is great because we are building. As our CEO, Alan Graham, says, we're more than shovel ready. We're actually hammer ready right now. If you go out there, you would see tons of tiny homes and what we call PMRVs, but then you would see a series of slabs out there just waiting for tiny homes to be built out there. And so we're just waiting for the donors to fund those so we can build them right away. And we just couldn't be more excited about what's going on out there. If you haven't been out there since the new expansion is open, this is my personal invitation to come get a tour. I'm going to leave my cards back here, and I would love for you to pick one up. Reach out to me. I would love to give tours for it. Real quick, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary of the village itself. Yeah, thank you. It's been so amazing. Right now, we house about 425 formerly homeless folks out there. And we just couldn't be more happy with the community, the way things are going. This is permanent supportive housing. And so for our folks, we make sure that this is home for them. The most common reason for move out is death at Mobile Loaves. And that's by design. We want people to know that they can live there for the rest of their lives if they so wish. And it costs us about $25,000 to $35,000 per year per neighbor out there because it is permanent supportive housing. So some things to know. The other thing is our Village of Lights is coming up. The first 2 weekends in December, so this weekend and next, is our Village of Lights. It's open to the public. We have our market open out there. So our neighbors, they make things like pottery, like paintings. It's beautiful. We have all that for sale out there during our Village of Lights. Please come. If you go to our website, you can find out more information. But I'm going to stop talking now. And Jeremy, thanks so much for having us. And thank you, Liberal Austin Democrats. We're so appreciative.
And David, if you want to come up, we have the real check, and then we also have the giant check.
I love it. Love a giant check.
We're going to take a picture for this banner over here real quick, if you don't mind. And sorry for the interruption. But I told Shane if he needs to get out of here, that he can in here a little bit. Yeah. Here, I'll get on this. Would somebody take our picture with those? Thank you very much.
Okay, and then for the gram, like the vertical.
Oh, good
right,
call.
good call. Oh. Right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the vertical. Yes, okay.
Thank you very much. We'll let you keep the real one.
All right.
Back here.
Yeah. No problem.
Thank you, Shane.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jeremy.
you.
Thank you all. They wrote it and it's sort of lost in transit. Okay, get it to you. Sounds good.
Now, before we get to the next phase, our main show tonight, I do want to allow any candidates that aren't in House District 49 to come up and just say 30 seconds, who you are, why you're running, whatever you want to say in your 30 seconds. But any candidates want to come up, please do so. George.
Hello, folks. I'm your former constable. I'm a candidate for Travis County Commissioner in Precinct 4. Precinct 4 is where I was born and raised. And today I raised my children and grandchildren in the same precinct that my parents raised my brothers, sisters, and I. I run on 2 things, equity and inclusion. You can follow me on social media, and if you want more information, go to george4commissioner.com. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Bianca Garcia, and I'm running for re-election for County Court at Law number 3. I'm really happy to be here, and I want to say thank you to Jeremy for organizing the fundraiser for Mobile Loaves Fishes. Let's give Jeremy a big round of applause. That's very selfless. If you want to learn more about the work we're doing in Court 3, please come talk to me, shoot me an email. I'm always available. We love to have people come observe court and learn more about the work we're doing for diversion programs in the misdemeanor courts. So thanks, y'all.
Hey guys, my name is Mariel Kelly. It's like Ariel with an M, Kelley. I am running for Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, which is kind of a big part of the northern part of the county, Pflugerville over to Lago Vista, Lakeway area. Former public school teacher, taught high school social studies in Pflugerville, and am currently a prosecutor. I oversee the diversion programs in Williamson County, and I am running to bring accountability and consistency back to the court. So that's about me, marielkelly.com. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gabriel Padilla. I'm the current Travis County Constable of Precinct 4. I was appointed October 1st after George Morales stepped down to run for a higher office. I've done the majority of my Precinct 4 work for the past 17 years, doing community outreach as well. I'm running for election, this special election for March of 2026. My name is Gabriel Padilla. I'm running for Travis County Constable Precinct 4. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Selena Shia, and I am running for Austin City Council District 8. I am a paramedic. I'm an ICU nurse, and I was also president of the EMS union for 6 years. I'm running for city council because, as we know, the Trump administration is really going after our local communities, and we need somebody who has public safety experience on this council to help defend our local communities. We also know that a lot of people are going to lose Medicaid after the midterms, and we need somebody that has real healthcare experience and public health experience to really think about how we can take care of our communities when that happens. For more information, my website is selenafораustin.com, and I look forward to getting to know some of y'all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Susanna Ledesma Woody. I'm running for Travis County Commissioner of Precinct 4. I have over 14 years of policy and governance experience as a trustee of Del Valley ISD. Over the last 10 years, one of the things I'm really proud of is that we have not raised our tax rate in over 10 years. And I know the affordability is a real concern for a lot of Austinites. So I hope to have your support. We need somebody that has policy and governance experience to continue supporting and active and advocating for Precinct 4. Thank you so much for your time. You can find more about me at votesusanna.net.
Any other candidates that I've missed? Okay, I'm going to take a point of personal privilege. I wish Lynn was chairing the meeting, but I am a candidate also. So I just want to quickly say that I'm running for House District 50. I'm a 20-year labor organizer. I'm president of the neighborhood association where I live, formerly a precinct chair for a long time and a vice president of this club for a long time. Very proud to have just received the UDIMS endorsement and the Stonewall endorsement. Have 9 other organizational endorsements for a total of 11. And I'm also proud to have over 150 elected officials and community leaders that have signed on to our campaign and would really love to have your support as well. So please check us out. Jeremy Hendricks for House District 50, hendricksfortexas.com. Thank you. And I'll thank you very much. And also just say, if you're not a member of the club, we are on an annual basis. It's $25 a year. I should have put that on the piece of paper, but it's $25 at the back of the room or on this banner. There's a QR code for Act Blue. You're welcome to join. After our January meeting, we will have other candidates. 49 can still come and say something for 30 seconds, but we're going to give most of the time to the other candidates that night, not in a forum, but just letting them speak. And then we will have our balloting go out right after that meeting in January. And so David, our treasurer, will be taking care of that. And before we get into the main part, David, do you have anything you want to add for the treasurer's report? Okay, thank you.
So yeah, as far as the treasurer's report, we just spent $5,500 for Mobile Loaves and Fishes. We're very happy about that. We have we'll have about 9,000 left over. And as was mentioned, we're be giving money out to some candidates. So other than that, yeah. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll be your timer for the candidates. So watch me up there.
Thank you very much, David. And David stepped into that role because Brian Pena, our secretary, actually just got appointed to an AISD commissioner board of some kind. And he has a meeting tonight, couldn't be here, so he sends his regards as well. Unless there are any other announcements, Chris, did you want to go ahead and do that now? Yeah.
I'm Chris Mosier. I'm your friendly sound guy, and I'm also the podcasting director for Progress Texas. We, next Monday, week from tonight, the 8th of December, are having our annual holiday party. For the first time, it has a live podcast taping as part of the fun festivities. We have State Senator Roland Gutierrez, State Senator Sarah Eckhart, and who else? Oh, Lieutenant Governor candidate Vicki Goodwin will also be with us to record and be festive and have fun. ProgressTexas.org is the place to go to find your tickets for that, and hope you can all come.
Thank you, Chris. And yeah, definitely check out Progress Texas. And thanks to Chris for all the great work he does for not just this club, but a lot of other clubs in the community. So thank you very much. Now I would like to welcome up our House District 49 candidates. They've already drawn 1 through 8, which they'll be seated in here. So please come on up. And so you'll each be sharing a microphone. So there'll be 2 persons per mic. And I'm going to keep mine just in case you get unruly and I got to get on to you, which I don't expect. So this evening, of course, we're having a House District 49 candidate forum. We're very lucky to have a wealth of good candidates, a cornucopia, you might say, of great candidates in this race. And they are here tonight to really tell you why they're the best candidate for House District 49, to really replace somebody who is an amazing leader for this state and is now running for governor, Gina Hinojosa, which we're all very excited about at this time. And so now that we get started, we are first going to start with candidate introductions. You will each get, let me make sure I'm saying this right, 1 minute per person. David is going to be your timer. So please go down the row and starting with Montserrat.
Great, thank you. I am Montserrat Garibay. I'm an Austinite, a bilingual educator, a labor leader, and a proud UT alumni. I'm running because together we can protect academic freedoms, fully fund public schools, expand affordable housing, and restore reproductive freedoms. We can build a Texas where everyone can thrive regardless of their race, their background, their zip code, And I came to this country as an undocumented student when I was a very young child, and I didn't speak a word of English. I started my career as a bilingual pre-K teacher in Austin ISD. I went to work as the Vice President of Education Austin, and I was the first Latina Secretary-Treasurer of the Texas AFL-CIO. And just a few months ago, I served in the Biden and Harris administration, helping to expand opportunity for millions of students. For 25 years, I have fought for Texans, from restoring pre-K funding to standing up for dreamers to organizing locally to elect Democrats. I am ready to work and fight for you. My name is Montserrat Garibay, and I'm running for House District 49. I would be honored to have your support. Muchas gracias.
Hi, everyone. Is everyone? Hello, everybody. I'm Robin Lerner, and I'm running for House District 49. It is my great pleasure to be here to introduce myself to you. For over 25 years, I have been fighting for justice for the underrepresented around the world and here in the United States and in Texas. I have never shied away from a fight. I started in law school representing asylum seekers and refugees, and I turned into my role as a civil rights attorney defending rape victims in court and defending the rights of same-sex couples trying to just foster children. I turned to my penchant for justice. I turned to the State Department, where I worked on huge policies that brought international visitors to the United States to focus on building these people-to-people relationships. After doing that, I came to Texas to work on higher education all across the state of Texas, because we are the 8th largest economy in the world. We should be having the best higher education system. And by higher education, I mean pre-K3 all the way through K through 16, because we need to build a strategy for higher education that all of our students have a chance to take part in our economy. So I'm really proud to be here. I want to represent all of the rights of all of our citizens going forward. Thank you.
Let me signal you when to start, so I get the clock going.
Okay, thank you so much. I love the timekeeper. My name is Giggs Hodges. I am a survivor. I'm a college dropout turned education advocate, which took me to into the post-COVID Title I classroom. And it was there where I saw that it wasn't the students failing. It's not the teachers failing. It's not even the administration that's failing. It's the policy that's failing. So for the past 3 years, the past 2 regular legislative sessions, 6 special sessions, I've been working as a legislative staffer. The most recent session, we passed 11 bills that were signed by the governor, got $1 million back to the district. All great things, but why I'm here is because we're not going to be able to get the things that Texans deserve if we're not standing up and fighting for them in a very strategic way. And through my time as a legislative staffer, I have seen those different strategies fail Texans. And I'm coming not only with these problems that we have identified, but I'm coming with solutions too. So I want to use that experience and make sure that Texans are getting what they deserve. And my name is Giggs, and I'm running for House District 49. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Tovo, and I'm running for House District 49, and I'm running to stop Republicans from continuing to pass the awful legislation that they have session after session. It is destroying our public schools. It is attacking academic freedom at the University of Texas and other universities throughout the state. It is attacking the personal rights of pretty much all Texans who don't agree with the Republican viewpoint. I served for almost 12 years on the city council, and so I'm used to not just standing up for great policy. I was able to work on great policy from getting funding for AISD programs to standing up with workers to starting things like our Water Forward plan. But I'm also very effective and very effectively stood up to stop special interests and to stop bad policies from passing. And that's exactly what I'll do if elected to the state house. I will stand up for Austin. I will stand up for House District 49, and I will stop Republican terrible legislation that is destroying our state and harming families. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Stephen Rivas. My husband and I are nearly 20-year residents of South Austin, and I'm a lifelong Democrat. The first time that I marched in a picket line was when I was in the 3rd grade with my mom, a bilingual telephone operator, and I knew instantly that people can make a change, especially when you fight against corporations. And now, my mom, in her late 70s, I understand why we were in that picket line. Anybody that understands labor and retirees knows that what started then affects what's happening now. I'm running for HD49 because I care about Austin and I love Texas. I've had the opportunity to serve in a public policy and a consulting role on numerous statewide campaigns and for a number of businesses as well. From Dalhart to Beaumont, from Tyler all the way down to Terrell County. I know that what happens here in Austin affects not just the state, but the entire nation. My goal is to represent everyone. So thank you for your time this evening. I look forward to answering your questions.
My name is Kimmy Ellison. I am a born and raised Texan. I grew up in North Dallas, came to Austin for undergrad, got a degree in government, moved to DC. I actually wound up working in the White House. That drove me to become a nurse, and nursing drove me to join the Peace Corps, where I lived in West Africa for 2 years. After being very, very hot for 2 years, I moved to where it was very, very cold. I lived in Chicago. I worked nights in an ICU, and I got a doctorate at Rush University. And now I've been a nurse practitioner for 10 years, and I direct a program that is the only place you can go in Austin, Texas, and the surrounding counties if you have breast cancer and you don't have insurance. And if you want to see how the system is rigged against people, come to work with me. I'm running on Medicaid expansion. I'm running because I love this state, and I am running because people are literally dying. That is not a turn of phrase. It is very, very true. So my name's Kimmy Ellison, and I'm running for Texas House District 49. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Josh Reyna, running for state representative in District 49. I'm the son of a migrant farm worker and public servant. I'm a husband, father, graduate of UT Law, and proud union member. And I'm the only candidate in this race with the experience to fight for you on day one, because for the past 2 decades, near 2 decades, I've been working with Democrats at the Capitol, fighting for our progressive values and spending late nights fighting for our rights. That's why Democratic leaders from across the state, from DFW to the RGV, from El Paso to Beaumont, have endorsed our campaign, because I'm battle tested and I've been in the trenches with Democrats at the Capitol in the fights that matter most to you and working families. When I get asked why I'm running, I tell people because Austin is home, and this is where my wife and I are raising our son. And what I want for my family, I want for you. And that is a city and state where affordability, opportunity, fairness, and respect reaches every person. I'm Josh Reyna, and I'm ready to fight for you on day one.
Hi, I'm Daniel Wang, and I am also running for House District 49. I am running to make sure that an affordable Austin is not just a slogan or a dream, but a reality. I grew up here, and most of my classmates can't afford to live here anymore, and so I see it every day. I currently serve you all on the Travis Central Appraisal District Board of Directors, ensuring equity in our property tax system and protecting our public school funding. When big corporations like Tesla tried to dodge their property taxes this year, I led the fight to push back and made sure that they paid their fair share so that ordinary folks like you and I don't have to. And that is not a promise, that is not a plan, that is a record. The reason that really drew me to politics in Austin here was housing and affordability. I am proud to say that I spent the last few election cycles supporting candidates like Ashika, Zoe, Celia, and Krista Lane, knocking on doors for them. And I'm not just talking about it now because I'm running, but because I believed in that message. I believed it then, and I believe it now. I believe that is my time. He's flirting with the clock, so I will cut it there. But I am Daniel Wang. I'm running to make Austin an affordable city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, candidates, for that introduction. We appreciate it. And we wish we could have more than 3 questions, but I think that's all we're going to have time for tonight. So, and we wish everyone could start with their own question as the first person, but we're going to go in order here, and then we're going to start at the very end when we do conclusions. So our first question is basically, what sets you apart in this crowded field? In a race with many passionate and qualified candidates, what sets you apart, and why are you the best person to represent House District 49 at this critical moment? And we'll start here with Robin.
I come to this race with international, national, state, and local experience. I've worked in the State Department, I've worked as a diplomat, and I've worked to support our higher education, as I said before. I also have multi-sectoral experience. I've worked as a nonprofit leader, I've worked as a public servant, and I've worked to support our local schools. I have this broad level of experience that I can bring. I understand what's happening in our economy. I've worked in legislation at the Senate level, and what it takes to do powerful legislation is being a voice for our civil society and making strong coalitions. I've never shied away from a challenging issue, an thorny issue. And the way to do that is to widen the table and get groups that normally don't talk to one another to sit at the table together. We're Democrats in the state. We don't have a lot of voice unless we're working across the aisle with each other. And to shout at the clouds is one thing, but to sit at a table and negotiate on things that really matter, that's how we bring affordability to our citizens. That's how we stop ICE raids. That's how we support and protect our voting and our elections. So we need to be, from day one, creating these coalitions and being a voice in the legislature for our neighbors. And I did that when I regulated an entire industry where 1.2 million people came to the United States under my programs. They were under significant strain and a lot of pressure. And I successfully reformed this program because of my ability to create coalitions. And that's what I want to do for our district.
Hello, Gigs again. I think what sets me apart is that I am not using my political experience as a qualifier for this position. I am using it as a catalyst to get involved because I have seen well-meaning individuals come into this building, not this building, the Capitol, and for some reason, what happens is there's a vortex and we lose some of that well-meaning. And because of wanting to work with Democrats or work with Republicans, we are losing some of our power to stand up and not just be a minority party, but be a resistance party. And something that I've heard in this district is people want Democrats to be fighting back. I was so inspired by the quorum break when Democrats said, no, we are not going to pass those maps. That is the kind of leaders that we need in this moment, because last session was bad, the session before that was bad, and it is predicted, the word on the street is that it's going to be even worse this legislative session. So although it is important to work with all individuals in the Texas House, we need to make sure that we are standing firm and we are not compromising, because if we are compromising, that means Texans are going to go hungry. That means they are going to go unhoused. That means they are going to lose their rights. And if we don't stand up and fight back, they're just going to keep losing them. And that's the reality. And so I want to take my experience as a staffer to actually fight back. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the question. You know, everyone at this table is a Democrat, and we probably share a lot of similar values, including with you all. What makes me different in this race is that I have a track record of being effective, and I'm ready to get in there and stop Republicans from continuing to pass awful legislation. And you can count on me to do that, because as I mentioned in my opening, I've not just passed great policy at the city council in the almost 12 years I served, but I also stood up to special interests and stopped bad policies, including a huge rate hike from Austin Energy, including an attempt coming from the state in part to take over Austin Energy and turn it over to a private board. And I have many, many other examples. So you can count on me to stand up for House District 49, to stand up for Texans, to stand up for personal rights, because That's the kind of policymaker I've been. I do my homework, I show up prepared, and if it's bad legislation that needs to be stopped, I analyze it, I find its weak spots, and I expose them. And I've done that successfully over and over and over again. So again, we have similar values. I see the job and the role of this representative to stand up strong and to stop Republicans from continuing to pass bad legislation, because that is what the constituents of House District expect from this representative, to stand strong, to fight for democratic values, and to be effective at stopping bad legislation and bad policies from continuing to pass out of the State House. Thank you.
That's a great question. I will say that today is World AIDS Day. And with President Trump in office, it's the first time since 1988 that nobody's saying anything at the federal level. Locally, when I was concerned about the city of Austin and its budget process throughout the summer, I asked questions. Where is the money for HIV, STI, and Mpox? And the answer was there wasn't any. And thus I got involved in Prop Q to fight for that. And we lost. And today I had a meeting with city staff and they said, Steve, we don't have that money. You can count on me to always be the big picture guy, somebody that cares not just about neighborhoods, but our businesses and all of them. Small neighborhood farms and businesses that work together on a table to farm process. And most importantly, I believe that I can work effectively with endorsers like Lulu Flores, who didn't hesitate to say, Steve, I've got your back, and I'm ready to get into that back mic and fight with her and stop with her all of this terrible legislation attacking brown people, gay people, and women. I am a Democrat for change, but somebody that believes in unity, in the spirit of Texas, and I know that Austin can count on me to ball carry at the Capitol. Thank you.
Okay, so when I heard that Hinojosa was giving up her seat to run for governor, one of the first things I looked up, and this is true, was whether or not state representatives get health insurance. Because my husband and I are on my health insurance plan, and I thought, okay, if I run for office, what are we going to do for healthcare? Because I know that after the first of the year, affordable care plans are going to be prohibitively expensive for regular people. I am the only nurse practitioner on this panel, but I was super excited to hear about another ICU nurse running for office tonight. That made me very happy. But our legislature was designed to be a citizen legislature. And one of the wonderful things about my 9-to-5 job, or whatever the hours are, is I get to be face to face with people who are on the periphery and who are being so poorly treated and forgotten by our governments. It is our job as lawmakers to make sure people have access to quality education, healthcare, safe drinking water, a roof over their head. And as a regular citizen, I have those same concerns for my health, for myself. And as a nurse, I've been advocating for 20 years. And I know if I'm in that state house, I will advocate just like I do in the hospital for the most vulnerable in our society, like I do for all of the 200,000 constituents in District 49. Thank you.
Good evening again. I'm Josh Reyna. Thank you again for the question. Like it's been alluded to earlier, we have a lot of great Democrats at this table with great background. Now, what sets me apart is my near 2 decades of experience in the Capitol, working with Democrats in the State House, working with Democrats in the State Senate, actually passing bills that working families rely on, killing bad bills that working families, that would destroy working families and tear families apart, drafting points of orders to kill bad bills and budget writers. I have that direct experience in the building. I think with the affordability crisis and with our public school crisis, the issues facing working families today are too big and too important for on-the-job training. So for me, I'm ready to fight for day one for fully funded public schools, which begins with ending recapture here in AISD, stopping the voucher scam, and raising the basic allotment, which has not kept up with student growth and inflation. I'm also running for affordable housing, making sure every family in Austin could afford to thrive here at home in the communities that they've built. So I'm Josh Reyna. I'm ready to fight for you on day one.
Daniel Wing again. And what sets me apart is the depth of my commitment to what I am telling you that I will say, that what I've been saying that I will do, which again, for me, the number one priority is and always has been affordability in Austin. As I mentioned, I grew up here in Austin. Most of my classmates from elementary school, middle school, high school can't live here, and they want to come back. And some of them have started moving back after they've paid off their student loans, after they've worked really hard and saved up enough money to be able to afford to move back. But I've spent multiple election cycles knocking on doors for candidates who believe in that same vision. Even when people say they're going to lose, even though some of them did end up losing, we were able to build a city council now that is the most progressive in the history of Austin, breaking over 100 years of deadlock and gridlock, preventing the expansion of affordable housing in Austin. Also, all of us have similar values, as we've mentioned, but what really moves the needle is not necessarily even the individual quality of the legislators we elect, but the number of Democrats that we elect. Obviously, we can do our best here, but with the supermajorities that the Republicans have, it won't make a difference. What does make a difference is electing more Democrats. When I ran for TCAD, I gave away over 80% of my remaining campaign money to other candidates and causes up and down the ballot across Texas, because that is what actually gets us closer to all of the priorities that we share. I think you will be hard pressed to find another politician who's willing to be so generous with their own campaign funds. Thank you very much.
So I have always said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I believe leadership starts with listening, with forming a wide and diverse coalitions. And that's exactly what I will do as your House District 49 representative. For the past 25 years, I have been organizing. When the Texas legislature cut funding for full-day pre-K, I organized with my union, and we made Austin ISD pay for the rest of the full-day pre-K program. When Ken Paxton tried to end DACA for Dreamers, I stood up and I got arrested because it was the right thing to do for our undocumented students. And at the U.S. Department of Education, I worked tirelessly to help more than 1 million public servants to receive their loan forgiveness. I'm also a big believer in grassroots organizing. We can't win if there's not someone in the office fighting for you, which I've shared the values that every one of each of you has. I have blog walk for Donna Howard, who won by 4 votes. I have organized and blog walk and phone bank for Gina Hinojosa from Beto Work, for so many of our candidates. I have spent my last 25 years, not just talking, but actually doing the work in my community. And one of the things that I will do, I will stand up, I will keep sharing our progressive values, and I will increase every opportunity that I can so everyone can be treated with dignity and respect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidates, for that. Our second question, of course, House District 49 current state representative is a great champion of public education and really has been ground zero for every fight for public and higher education. So Texas public schools are under attack. We've got big shoes to fill in Gina Hinojosa. So from underfunding to censorship to teacher shortages, what specific policies will you fight for to strengthen public education and higher education and ensure every student has access to safe, well-funded, and inclusive schools? And we'll start with Giggs.
That's a great question. Thank you so much. Because I think that something about the legislature that is not spoken about enough is that electing a speaker is a really, really, really important part of the legislative process. And on day one, you can pretty much see how it's going to play out from there. And this session, I strongly believe that we could have fully funded our public school systems. And it was a choice that we could not hold the line to hold out and to negotiate with Republicans to get that additional funding. The boss, I staffed a member who sat on the Texas Higher Education Committee. We worked together quite a bit. And it was a really hard session. There were a lot of really hard bills that came through. The voucher bill came through. But again, if we would have had a different speaker vote, those pieces of legislation that did or didn't pass could have looked a lot different. So going forward, I would be a fierce member on before day one, because these decisions are made before day one, about how we are going to hold the line and use our collective weight to fight for things like public schools and higher education. I've done a lot with the students around the Trump Compact, and the work there is not done. We have a lot that we need to continue doing to protect higher education. Thank you.
Yeah, the attacks on public education, both K through 12 and the universities, is something that needs to be a key priority. I certainly support increasing funding, increasing the basic allotment for students in our K through 12 level. We had vouchers pass, and I will look for every opportunity to push back and overturn those. And as a former university educator, I have a strong concern about the attacks both on staff and on students and on our DEI programs at area universities across the state. All of those things need to be challenged. In addition, I'm concerned about the challenges to come. And we need a fighter in House District 49 who is going to stop the continued attacks on public education, one of which was announced by our current governor recently to overturn property taxes that schools can collect. We have fights ahead. We have certainly a lot of work to do to improve the public education system in this state, but we also have fights ahead, and we need a strong fighter in House District 49 who will stand up and stop the continued nonsense, including attacks like that on our property tax system, which is funding a system that is already providing too little funding to support schools across the state.
Thank you for that question. And first, I want to thank any public school teachers that are in the room, because many of us in this room are products of public schools, and especially those that are retired teachers. I can tell you that from day number one, protecting teacher salary, finding a way to retain teachers in Texas and not lose them to other states, and most importantly, keep them secure with a funded Texas retirement system is at the top of the list. Recently, Governor Abbott said, well, let's get rid of property taxes. Let's see what we can do to make public schools stress a little bit more. But he opened the door to a possibility that other states have for funding, maybe through other taxes, like sales tax. We have an opportunity to change recapture. Recapture is not the reason why our schools are failing. Recapture is a reason why our schools are not achieving. I can tell you that from day one, I will stand up for public schools just as I have in the past with many people in this room. I've had the opportunity to be endorsed by former Austin Community College retired trustee Alan Kaplan, we call him trustee emeritus, and others. To me, public education is not just at the public school level. It's all the way through our students graduating career and workforce ready. And that's a priority of mine for this region, for this state, and for this nation. And I look forward to working across the aisle to refund and come up with better solutions to public schools.
Okay. Oh, such a big topic and only 90 seconds to address it. The basic allotment in Texas is $4,000 below the national average. Teacher salary is $7,000 below the national average. We're in the bottom, I think, 30% of teacher pay nationwide. And the biggest determiner of student success is the teacher. And we so woefully don't respect our teachers enough. Well, I mean, I know everyone in this room, I'm sure, respects teachers greatly, but the way our government treats teachers is wrong. Advocacy groups for education say we need $30 billion, and then the state gives them, what was it, 12 billion, 9 billion, way less. And we have a voucher program that is a scam. I think a very short answer to a complicated question is fund it, pay teachers. Pay your teachers, increase the basic allotment. AISD just had to make this very horrible decision to close schools, but their hand was forced because the state did not fund them. We need to protect teachers. We need to pay them. We need to train them. We need to, also side note, clearly I'm biased, we need to provide student loan funding to nurses, physician's assistants, physical therapists, things of that nature. But we also need to protect academic freedom. There is a reason why the Republicans are scared of professors, and that's because they know professors have the right ideas. Thank you.
Thank you again for the question. When it comes to making our public schools stronger, as a product of public schools, there will be no bigger champion standing up for our public schools in the Texas House of Representatives. Like I mentioned earlier, we need to end recapture, which is robbing Austin taxpayers and our Austin school district from local tax dollars that are going to the state and going to rural school districts that have fancy football stadiums that are college level stadiums, if you take a look at some of them. When we have facilities falling apart, when we have teachers not getting paid enough, when our enrollment and performance are not where they're supposed to be, we need to bring and keep those local tax dollars here locally. We also need to raise the basic allotment. We need to pay teachers their worth, make sure they're paid as the professionals that they are. We need to get politics out of the classroom and let teachers teach and get high stakes testing out of the way. Too often, high stakes testing is tying the hands of our teachers and hurting our students from learning how to think and learning the core subjects they need to get ahead in a competitive economy. When it comes to public school policy, again, this is why experience matters. I've worked on legislation to defend the DREAM Act. I've worked on legislation to raise the basic allotment. Experience matters, and again, I'm ready to fight for public education.
Yeah, so fixing public schools is actually not rocket science. We know how to do it, and we know that we know how to do it because we have done it. It's not that our schools are having issues all of a sudden. It's that Republicans have been systematically sabotaging our public schools. And they've been doing that by underfunding it, by harassing teachers, as someone who graduated from Austin ISD myself, I went through a system that I thought worked pretty well. My classmates and I got what we were supposed to out of our public education. And the problem with things like recapture is not even that, we're equitably funding a statewide school system after actually immense litigation over the inequitable funding of our schools. It's that the state actually keeps billions and billions and billions of dollars out of that recapture. After they've taken the money from Austin and they've given it to rural school districts, they just keep the extra instead of keeping that money in the school system. And so, the things that we need to do, we know exactly what to do, and we have done them in the past, but now Republicans want to privatize our schools, and so they're sabotaging them. And so all we need to do is say no, right? Is to roll back the changes that have been made. There's obviously ways to improve schools as well, tinkering around the edges and addressing longer standing issues. But the basic problem of how to have a well-functioning public school system is not hard. Other states have done it, other countries have done it, we have done it, and all we need to do is just go back. Thank you.
So, okay. I am a clear example of why investing in public education works. Everything in my life has been possible because of public education. I graduated from Austin ISD. I went to ACC and got my basics, and I received my master's and my undergrad at UT. I began my career in the classroom as a bilingual pre-K teacher in Austin ISD, and then I became the vice president of Education Austin, where I fought for better pay and better salaries, smaller class sizes. Also, we fought for enrichment programs like the arts, and we actually kicked out IDEA out of Eastside Memorial. At the Department of Education, I led programs that helped over 5 million English learners, and also help with the loan forgiveness for over 1 million of public servants. Bottom line, what we need is simple. Increase per pupil funding so that every student, no matter their race, no matter their income, no matter their zip code, they can attend a fully funded public school. We need to guarantee universal full-day pre-K program, and we need to emphasize bilingual and dual language programs. We need to increase salaries for educators and paraprofessionals so they can have one job enough so they can make ends living. We also need to stop these book bans and these politically motivated censorships. And lastly, we need to restore tenure and promote academic freedom on our colleges. I will be the fighter for students, teachers, and parents. Thank you.
Well, I share the sentiments of everybody on this panel. Our public schools are the pillars of our communities. When we see these schools closing, the communities come out hard and they're sad, and it breaks down our neighborhoods, and it breaks down the dreams of so many of our families. I serve on the board of the Ann Richards School, and that's a pillar of our district. My daughters both graduated from Austin ISD, and they're both in public universities right now. I'm the product of public school. My husband's a teacher. We know that our education, the greatest predictor of success is your zip code, right? We count on our public education to be the great equalizer for all of our community. So we all want to go to the Capitol to support a strong and functioning public education. The way I see it is we're the 8th largest economy in the world. This state is trying to do big things with our economy. And when we're breaking down our public education, we're breaking down our chance to continue to grow and progress. Our business community is relying on our schools to function. One of the things that we do in our public schools is we have college counseling, we have wraparound services, food, we have sports. It's a great melting pot. We continue to break down that system. We're breaking down the fabric of what our kids are going to become. So this extends to higher education. I've worked in higher education for years. I believe so strongly in our school and our universities having that independence, and I will fight for that every day.
Thank you very much, candidates. Moving on to our third and final question. We all know that with Trump and Abbott administrations that every level of our democracy is under attack. And so as many of candidates have mentioned, so are a lot of our folks out there. And so with voting rights under assault, reproductive freedom rolled back, and LGBTQ plus Texans under attack, what will you do in the legislature to defend our democracy and protect the rights of all Texans, especially those most under threat? And we're starting with Kathy.
Can I add one sentence?
Yes.
This week is the 80th anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott, December 1955. So think about that for context of defending civil rights.
Yeah, thank you for that question, that additional context. Personal rights are under attack in Texas. We all know that. And we don't, after this weekend where a 19-year-old was illegally deported, we know that we need to stand up. We need a House District 49 representative who is going to stand up and voice loudly and clearly that we've had enough and that we need a change. And we have had a great representative in Gina Hinojosa, and I'm prepared to be just that representative, standing up for workers' rights, as I have on the city council, standing up for our schools, as I have as a community member and as a council member, and making sure that we are standing up for voting rights and doing everything we can to marshal the strength and the elected, changing the nature and changing the political the politics up at the state house to get more Democrats elected. Ultimately, it's going to take getting more Democrats elected to get some of these horrible policies reversed, the attacks on trans folks, the attacks on personal reproductive rights, and so many other horrible pieces of legislation that passed. And I am running for office to help stop additional attack, not just to work to get the political capital up there at the House to overturn some of these horrible attacks, but to make sure that we are doing everything we can to stop additional infringements and attacks on Texans.
Thank you, Dr. Tovo. My dad tells a story of when he was a child. He was not a native English speaker. He went to a school that was segregated for Mexican American children. We call ourselves Latinos now. The teacher told the children, all in kindergarten, if you speak in English, you're going to get your hand slapped with a ruler. Dad said he remembers on the first day of school, cowering with his friends and cousins in the school playground, trying to figure out, how do I ask to go to the bathroom in English so that I don't get my hand slapped? One of my dad's cousins, he peed himself in the class because he was so terrified. Prejudice, what we now say is racism, is why I fight for civil rights every day. An endorser of mine in the room, Gary Brown, will tell you that for LGBTQ rights, I'm on it every day. And just because we're in an LGBTQ commission together, I fight for our East Side traditional African American and Black communities. When it was time for Abbott to say, hey, you got to erase your rainbow crosswalk, we said together collectively, well, we're going to stand up for the Black artists' matters lives as well on the East Side. You can count on me to always be a loud voice of conscience, speak truth to power, and make sure that HD49 is always the voice of this state and its people, proudly and loudly. Thank you.
Okay. I really like this question. Thank you. I really believe in democracy, but democracy does not work unless the most vulnerable in our communities are protected. And I know that none of us are safe until the most vulnerable among us are safe. And when I'm in that state house, by working every day as long as I have air in my lungs for Medicaid expansion, and working to get every child a high quality public secular education, all of that benefits the whole. These are not, in my opinion, super liberal or progressive ideas. These are ideas that promote basic human rights. And as long as we have a safe place to live, we're well educated, we can go to the doctor when we're sick, all of us are made safe. I see it every day, what happens when people don't have safe spaces to go, they're not educated, they don't have health insurance. And when I'm in that state house every day, I will fight to make sure everybody is on equal ground. Thank you.
When it comes to fighting for our fundamental rights, we need a representative where these things are non-negotiable. Now, again, I've been working in the Capitol for nearly 2 decades. I've been putting in the work. I don't need to make promises about what I'm going to do. I was there in 2011 when Democrats killed sanctuary cities. I was there in 2013 when Wendy Davis filibustered to keep abortion rights. I was there working with staff, arming our Democrats with questions and talking points to support Wendy's historic filibuster. When our voting rights were under attack after the 2020 election, when Donald Trump sold America the big lie, and Republicans wanted to roll back voting rights, I was there when Carol Alvarado did her historic filibuster Again, arming Democrats with the facts, the questions, and the talking points to sustain that filibuster and kill that bill. Now, when our trans neighbors, friends, and families have been under attack, I've been in an office where I actually wrote the comprehensive anti-discrimination law. I've worked on that policy. I've been doing the work for 16 years. This isn't a promise, this is proof. And when it comes to fighting for these fundamental rights, I will hold the line and I will push back against this extremism that we see from Abbott and Donald Trump.
So what we do in that building, it certainly matters, but we've been fighting these fights for a long time and we've been losing them. And our whole goal so far has been to lose small and to lose slowly. All the points of order, all the procedural, I'm a lawyer. We sue about these blatantly illegal laws. We win some injunction, right? And then Donald Trump and Greg Abbott just ignore it. What actually makes a difference is the moral power of moving the people that comes from unearned suffering. As David mentioned, on the 70th anniversary of these boycotts, is that when you show people, look at how strongly I believe in this value that you also believe in, and look at how extreme our opponents are in the amount of suffering and cruelty they're willing to inflict on people in the name of oppressing people or just being racist or exerting violence or power over people. When people see that, even if they don't speak the language, even if they have no idea what's going on, they know who the good guys are in that situation and who the bad guys are in that situation. And so when representatives like Nicole Collier, who was willing to be under capital H Texas house arrest in protest over the Republicans trying to make people sign permission slips to leave the building, that is the kind of stuff that gets people's attention and breaks through the noise. I was on my way there to support her that night when they suddenly announced an active shooter drill to get everybody out of the building. But that is the kind of dedication that I will bring and I think needs to be brought in order to make differences on these civil rights issues. Thank you.
So let's be clear. Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, and Ken Paxton, they don't want students, new citizens, seniors, or Texans of colors to vote. And they are shameless in their pursuit of power. I will fight for 5 things. Eliminate barriers that will prevent people, seniors, Texans of colors, and new citizens to register to vote or to cast their ballots. I will enact online same-day voter registration. I will implement universal vote by mail, expand in-person voting opportunities for counties to offer extended hours and during the weekends. And also I will increase funding for voting systems and cybersecurity. Look, I became a citizen in 2012, and the freedom to vote is sacred and it's personal to me. My sister was one of the naturalized citizens illegally impacted by the voter purges in 2019. I have led citizenship clinics, voter registration initiatives. I've been a poll worker. I have spoken at college campuses and community events about the importance of voting and registering to vote. I will continue to fight every day to ensure that every Texan is able to cast their ballot freely, without fear, and without intimidation. I will pledge that for you. Thank you.
I want to tell you that I've worked in countries that have fought for democracy, the democracy that we have in this country, the democracy that many people in this country take for granted. I've seen them fight like hell to have what we have in this country. And I've been there with them side by side, standing up elections and supporting and monitoring them in unfree societies. The US was such a shining example of democracy around the world. It has been until now. Now we're stepping back from playing that role, and we're not just stepping back globally, we're recoiling from it in this country. This has got to stop. We are seeing our voting rights being stripped away, and this is something that is impacting all of us. But what's happening now, there's a positive to it. As we see all the systemic human rights violations that are happening, not just at the voting booth, but to everyday citizens, everyday our neighbors, our immigrant neighbors that are working so hard side by side with all of us, we see our civil society stepping forward to protect each other. We're now seeing the strength of our civil society coming together so strongly. This is what we need to protect. This is what we need to do in the Capitol, is make sure there's never an attack on our civil society groups. I was an attorney for the ACLU. I fought on behalf of people who were being discriminated against. We must protect all of these groups who are doing the work to go to the courts and fight and protect all of our citizens. I personally had tear gas shot at me when I was monitoring elections. That should never happen to anyone in this country ever.
I'd first like to acknowledge that we are on stolen land and our country was founded on the backs of Black and brown individuals. And so our democracy still has a long way to go, even before this happened, because not everybody had equal rights. Nobody still has equal rights because we have a huge mass incarceration problem. But I already am a democracy defender. I was very involved in the quorum break, the logistics, the behind the scenes staff element, and fought really hard to make that happen, and really hard because it wasn't just the maps, it wasn't just democracy, it was also a horrible abortion bill, it was a horrible bathroom bill. So we can't, like, the fight is so much bigger, like, and we can say really nice things and talk about really nice policies, but that building is really ugly. And so unless you know how to navigate that building, you're not going to be getting anything, because they are going to take everything they can from us. And we have to be fierce in our pursuit of fighting back. And the morning of the voucher vote, we had the votes for a referendum. We had the votes to get it on the ballot. But one call from Donald Trump made all but 2 Republicans flip. And that's how we have vouchers. But even before that, I'm going to go back to the speaker's vote. That if we would have been more diligent about holding the line for the speaker's vote, that could have looked different. So all these things do play together, and they play together in the fight for our country and the fight for democracy. Thank you.
That's it, right? Yeah. Okay. Making sure. Okay. Thank you very much. So that's our questions for tonight. Now we're going to do closing statements. And as promised, we're actually going to start at the other end with Daniel and work our way back this way down.
Okay. And 1 minute?
1
Okay.
minute each. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Daniel Wang again for HD49. As we've all heard, we have similar values, but the math just doesn't math. The Republicans have majorities in both chambers. And what we need to do is bring the fight outside the legislature, outside of this district. There are districts like HD52 up in Williamson County, which we once flipped, but was re-gerrymandered after the 2020 census. That is a seat that we can flip back, and is already win or lose is a race that I will be, investing my time and energy in to take back and slowly change that electoral math in that building. But also, bringing the dedication of being willing to knock on doors and being willing to put your own suffering on the line to show the world that this is what we stand for. And if you believe in it too, then we ask you to stand with us. And this is how crazy the other side is in their absolute pursuit of power and cruelty. That, I think, is what is ultimately going to make the difference for us being able to advance all of these policies that we all share, and breaking this, decades-long grip on power that the Republicans have had in our state of Texas. Thank you, everybody. Daniel Wang for HD49.
Josh Reyna again for State Rep for District 49. So to change the Texas House and to change the Texas legislature, we need to win elections. In 2018, I worked closely with HDCC and we picked up 12 seats. What followed the following session was a relatively more kumbaya session when school finance was at the forefront and cutting property taxes was at the forefront of the entire session. That's because Republicans got scared of the Democratic seats that we picked up, and that they knew that we were holding them accountable. When I talk about experience matters, I also talk about the ability to navigate that that building. And I have personally worked on legislation in a Republican legislature where we expanded SNAP food assistance. So no Texan goes to bed hungry. I've passed gun reform legislation. I've passed legislation to promote renewable energy. That's the experience that matters in this race. And with our economy on the line, you deserve a representative ready to fight for you on day one.
Oh, is it 90 or 60 seconds? Oh, okay. All right, okay. I want to say thank you for having me. I have not been involved in any official way with the Democratic Party. I've been voting Democrat for many, many years, but I have to say that every person I've met that is in this arena since I've decided to run has been really, really kind to me. And that says a lot about the people that are up here. I also believe in Texas, and I know that we can have a really great comeback story in this state. And I think it starts with Medicaid expansion and funding education. I appreciate you having me out. My name is Kimmy Ellison, and like everyone else, I am running for Texas House District 49. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jeremy, and to the this wonderful group that we just call LAD. When I first moved to Austin, people said, well, you got to go to LAD. What's that? Well, it's the Liberal Austin Democrats, and it's one of the best clubs in town. And the reason why I'm here tonight is to ask for the endorsement for House District 49. You can count on me as someone that will always champion our progressive and democratic values. You can count on me as someone that will always stand up for someone that feels as if they do not have the voice. I will be that voice. HD49 will always lead on public education. And HD49 will always lead in democracy, civil rights, and our shared values as Austinites. I'll fight against the takeover that Republicans want to take over the city of Austin, and I will always be there for you in the Capitol and outside. My name is Stephen Rivas. My friends call me Steve. Thank you for being here this evening.
I'm Kathy Tovo, running for District 49, and I'm running to help stop the Republicans from continuing to force their extremism on the state. And you know where my values are because I've rallied with many of you up at the Capitol again for common sense gun regulations at City Hall, in advocating for our trans families at the University of Texas, advocating alongside our union for better wages. I've fought for wages at the city. I've fought for better working conditions. And I've done a lot of hard things and gotten a lot of challenging projects across the finish line, like a sobering center that had stalled for more than a decade, like identifying the funding that helped fund more than 1.3 million meals for the caregivers of AISD students during the pandemic. I'm ready to get to work. I'm tough, I'm tested, and I appreciate and would consider, hope you will consider endorsing my campaign. I also want to invite you on December 14th. We're going to have a kickoff at Santa Rita from 2 to 4. Would love to see all of you there. And again, Kathy Tovo would be honored to earn your vote in this election.
Okay, I'm just too excited. So I'm going to stand up because I can't sit anymore. My name is Giggs, and I am not here I never wanted to be in politics, but I understand that it is the vehicle of which we can create systemic change. And I believe that we collectively, all of us, Texans deserve better than what our government is giving us. And in order to get better, we have to fight more strategically. Yes, to the elections, but also once we're in the building, we have to do better. We have to stand up. We have to fight back in a way that excites the base as well, because we are in this fight together. All of our rights are in danger, and we need to stand up. And I will be a fighter, not on day one, because day one is too late. Not roll up your sleeves. Rolling sleeves is not enough. It is taking the rule book, using the rule book, and starting way before we open any kind of policy or have any kind of discussion to start planning and know who our team is and who's going to do what in that fight.
So my name is Giggs. I'm going to be the most progressive, and I am running for House District 49. Thanks, y'all.
I'm Robin Lerner, and I'm also running for House District 49. And I think I can speak for all of us when we say we're sick of thoughts and prayers. I think we're all tired of hearing this crap. So I have talked a lot about democracy and justice, but I do want to close by talking about kitchen table issues. You know, I'm of the sandwich generation where I have 2 kids in college and I have aging parents. And I really worry about how we're going to make ends meet for them. And also I really worry about what my kids are going to do in their jobs with the AI economy coming upon us. These are real worries for all of us. And I also remember when Andy and I were first starting to build our family and getting our first home. He was a new teacher. I was a low-paid public servant. This was a real issue. How are we going to buy a house? This is what a lot of our Austinites are facing. I want them to live, work, play, and study in proximity to each other. I want them in our vibrant city. We need better policies that help people afford to be in the center of innovation. So I want to support policies that make lives easier and better. And I will do that every day for all of you. Thank you.
House District 49 needs a fighter with a proven record, someone who just doesn't talk, but actually delivers change. For 25 years, I have been fighting for Texans. When full-day pre-K was cut, I organized and to restore it. When DACA was attacked, I stood up and was arrested defending dreamers. At the U.S. Department of Education, I helped over 1 million public servants get their loan forgiveness they earn. I've lived in House District 49 for more than 15 years. I know how to build coalitions, navigate complex systems, and fight strategically for our community. My name is Montserrat Garibay. I am running for House District 49, and I hope to earn your vote and your support. Join our campaign at montserratfortexas.com. Juntos for Justice, Unidos for Change. Muchas gracias.
I want to thank all the House District 49 candidates. Let's give them a huge round of applause, please. And before they walk off the stage, I'm going to have somebody take a picture of all of us. If everyone could stand up. Yeah, just over there somewhere. I'm gonna do one in it, and I'll do one without. Should we get rid of our water bottle? In front of the court. In front. Oh, yeah, watch out for the courts. And David, if you want to sit out, do y'all want one with just the candidates? Yeah. If anybody wants it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's give it another round of applause. And if you'll gather your things, we've got just a little bit of program left, and we will be out of here. An excellent job from our candidates. We really do have a wealth of candidates in that race. We've got just a couple of other things that folks could sit down. So quickly, I want to remind everyone there are at the back QR codes. With that, you can join LAD. It's $25. Our endorsement ballot will go out at the end of the month. And again, if you could all sit down real quick, because we had a couple of other candidates show up, I believe. I saw Judge Hernandez walk in. You want to say a word? Come on. One of my favorite judges, and if there are any other candidates that came in, you're also welcome to say a few words. Thank you, Judge.
Appreciate you. Hey, everyone. I won't take too long because I know we're all excited from that amazing debate. One more round of applause for LAD and everyone for organizing. This was a beautiful and very thoughtful debate. I'm Judge Denise Hernandez. I'm the presiding judge of County Court at Law number 6, and I am running for re-election. Thank you. I feel really honored, one, as just a Texan, to be here in this space where we continuously fight for the equal rights and fair access for everyone. I'm the first LGBTQ plus individual to serve my court. I'm going to keep it that way because representation not only matters in the courtroom, it matters in how we treat people in everyday interactions. I serve the community on the court and outside of the court because being a public servant is a giving of yourself in every space. You can learn more about me at votedeniseforjudge.com, and it's an honor to be here. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Judge. Kenan.
Hi, everyone. I'll go quickly because I know you've been hearing from a lot of candidates for a long time. I'm Kenan Lily Wooten, and I'm running for the 250th Civil District Court in Travis County. I grew up here in Austin. I went to public school. I loved hearing what everybody had to say about supporting our public schools because they made me who I am and made me respect and honor diversity and see what a leveling force public education can be for all of us. I'm running to increase access to justice, further support faith in our courts as opposed to breaking it down that we see some of our judges doing today, and also to honor the rule of law. I have a website up, it's KenanLilyWooten.com, and you can see my years of dedication to increasing access to justice, honoring the rule of law, and also being a dedicated community member, both at the local level with the bar and also in the community at large. I will end by saying to all of you that I think one of the things we need to do is realize that the suffering of any person is our suffering. And when I hear everybody talking about the least among us, I think if we could just understand that the suffering of every other person is our own, I think we would be a more compassionate world, environment, and that we would go so far in reducing the barriers that exist and in increasing access to justice across the board, not just in our court system, but in our communities at large. I'd be honored to earn your support. Again, it's KenanLilyWooten.com. And I do have a card. I know that's a mouthful. If you want one, I'll be happy to give it to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kenan. And any candidates that I missed? Lastly, I want to thank UA Local 286. If you don't know, you're in the House of Labor right now. This is the Plumbers and Pipefitters. They are an excellent union. I want to thank all of our unions in this community, but UA, more than just about anybody, opens their doors gladly to both Democrats and our entire community. So thank them. Thank all of you for coming tonight. I believe that is everything, unless anyone else has an announcement. Make sure there's no pizza left back there, please. Thanks and have a great night.